So find a comfy spot on your mat. And as we move through class today, do what works for you. Do what makes yourself comfortable. And as you settle in, notice your sit bones connect downward into the earth below, and take a moment to pause here and enjoy that connection. Groundedness is something that helps with balance. Tilt your pelvis forward with intention and stack your spine one vertebrae upon the other, all the way up through the neck, all the way through the crown of your head. Take an inhale through your nose and an exhale, letting things go. And another inhale, long, smooth, and even through your nose. And an exhale through the mouth, releasing stress, letting things go. Envision it floating away. And pause here for a moment. Notice how you feel. We're going to spend a minute breathing, a specific breathing pattern called 4-7-8 breaths. And the intention of this is to create more balance between the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. So realizing that breath can be a tool to finding balance. So we'll breathe in together to the count of 4, breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and breathe out for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in for 4. Out, hold for 7. And out for 8. Do 2 more on your own. Your counting may be at a different pace than mine. Let your body do what works for it. Last round. And when you're done, let your breath go back to its usual breathing pattern. And pause and notice here how likely you feel more calm, more even, more steady. And I want to offer this idea of balance. For women physicians, it's often a tug of war between work and home and all of the duties and struggles that we have. And yet balance is equanimity. Balance is evenness. It's standing upright with grace and ease. And so thinking about how can we approach it differently? How can we relax in, which is what we do in yoga, to all of the competing demands so that we can balance with more ease? And I want to offer this idea of the breath as a tool, and taking time to be and taking time to rest as a tool. So with that, take another long, deep, smooth, nourishing inhale. And an exhale that's matched evenly to the inhale. Another long, deep, smooth inhale, breathing in nourishment and breathing out tension. And pause once again and notice the difference here. Perhaps you feel a little tingling in your fingers and your toes, and perhaps a little more calm and equanimity. And if it's comfortable, close your eyes and bring one hand to heart, another hand to top, pressing in gently into that heart space, sending yourself some kindness and compassion. And I want to offer once again that same theme of compassion as a tool for balance and as a tool for ease, as all kinds of demands swirl around us. Compassion softens it, takes away the stress, and allows you to intentionally relax it, using that as well as the breath as a tool. So as we move through class today, noticing what's needed for balance. Usually it's small little adjustments. Usually it's a deep breath. It's perhaps grounding in through your sit bones, grounding in through your feet, focusing on your alignment, focusing on acceptance. It's welcoming those wobbles. And so the balance in yoga is a metaphor for the balance out of yoga. And what can we take from this hopefully loving, kind experience on the mat out into the world and into our lives beyond as a tool for compassion, a tool for kindness, a tool for more relaxation, and a tool for balance. So bring your hands to heart center, palms press against one another. Notice each finger pad rub against the other. Notice the sensations. Connect your thumbs together, and with intention, connect the thumbs to the sternum. And notice the strength and inner balance that comes just with that action. Intentionally press your elbows out wide, taking in a long, smooth inhale. And an equal, smooth, nourishing exhale. And one more deep inhale. And an exhale, letting things go, finding balance between the inhale and the exhale. And pause here, connect to your intention. How would you intentionally like balance to look in your life? How could you soften your approach to it? Welcome it all in. Stand up tall with grace. Be stable, steady, even, accepting. Harmonious is another word. What could it look like for you? And when you're ready, bring your hands to your thighs. Slowly open your eyes and let the light in. And just notice how you feel. Reconnect your sit bones to the earth. Notice that connection and the strength from underneath you. Focus on your belly. Inhale, raise both arms up towards the sky. Right thumb and middle finger will grab the left wrist. Gently tug towards the right. Left hip grounds downward. Inhale into the left chest and rib cage. And exhale, tug gently to the right, staying even and balanced here. Another long inhale. Gentle tug towards the right, paying attention to evenness. Inhale, come back to center. Switch the clasp of your hands. Left thumb and middle finger grab the right wrist. Exhale, gently tip towards the left. Stretch the right side body, right hip grounds downward. Inhale deeply into every nook and cranny of the right side body. And exhale, let it go. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale your arms out towards the sides. Wrap them in front of you, right under left. Wiggle those fingers all the way to the medial edge of the scapula, giving yourself a hug of appreciation for all of the challenges to this point. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, drop your chin into your chest, releasing. Another smooth, long inhale. And an exhale. Raise your chin up to your chest. Release your arms, stretch them out towards the side walls. Once again, press your palms into the side walls, arms fully engaged. Pinch the scapula together and enjoy that release and let it go. Wrap your arms in the opposite direction, left elbow under right. Wiggle your fingertips to the medial edge of the scapula. Huge hug. Lift the elbows up over the chest if need be and allow them to fall gently. Inhale, stretch your spine tall, lengthen. And exhale, drop your head and neck, chin comes into the cradle of your arms, release. One long, deep, nourishing breath here. Exhale, let it go. Bring your chin up to shoulder height. Untangle your arms, stretch them out towards the side wall once again, and lower them by your sides. Roll your shoulders back 3 times with kindness, releasing tension, noting that when you're really tense, that impacts your ability to balance. Rolling your shoulders forward 3 times. You might wonder why sitting on the floor has anything to do with balance, and yet it's setting yourself up with inner strength and inner calm that helps with the balance going forward. Inhale, both arms up towards the sky once again. Fingers intertwine, flip the palms up towards the sky. Shimmy your elbows back by your ears. Stretch tall and long, slight arch back, deep inhale. Exhale, round forward, suck your navel back towards your spine and drop your head and neck forward. Reach the palms towards the front. Inhale, arch, slight arch back, reach those palms towards the sky. Exhale, round forward, moving with intention, using your core. Inhale, seated cow. And exhale, round forward, suck your navel back, allow your head and neck to drop forward. Reach your arms up towards the sky once again. Release your hands and lower them all the way by your side. Roll your shoulders 3 more times back and 3 more times forward. And just shake things out. We're going to actually come directly to stand here and do a little more movement at the beginning and then come down to the mat. So come to face the side edge of your mat if you can see the screen. If you can't, you can stand at the front. It actually doesn't matter. Whatever works better for you to be able to see. We're going to do moon salutation, which we don't usually do. So you will stand tall to start. Feet will be directly under your hips. So hips width. Lift up all 10 toes and lower them down. Coming into mountain pose to start. So perhaps adjust your feet. Take a moment. Notice how they feel connecting to the earth. Draw the earth's energy up through your feet to your kneecaps. Engage your thighs, tuck your pelvis, and lengthen the spine. Tall, tall, tall. Lengthen the crown of your head up towards the sky. Take an inhale and an exhale. Release and drop the shoulders. Inhale, both arms out and up towards the sky. Clasp your hands together. Index finger comes together, point your fingers straight up towards the sky. Inhale, stretch tall here. Exhale, tip gently towards the right, coming into a half moon or crescent moon. Huge stretch in the left side body. Inhale, once again, tipping towards the right. Exhale, release. Inhale, come back to center. Point your fingers, reach tall, tall, tall. Exhale, release. Inhale, stretch tall, ground the right foot into the earth, right hip grounds downward. Exhale, tip your fingers towards the left, coming into crescent moon on this side. Inhale as you lean towards the left. And an exhale, release, letting it go. Come back to center. Open your arms out towards the sides. Stretch your feet side. So there's about 4 feet between them. Feet are parallel to the sides of the mat. You're in a star pose. Turn your toes towards the side of the mat, coming into like a second position. Inhale, stretch everything in either direction, 5-point star. Exhale, sink your hips downward, bend your knees. Elbows come down into a cactus pose, goddess pose, strong woman pose. Elbows come back, sink the hips down. Inhale, exhale, sink a little bit lower. One more inhale here. And an exhale, release. Stand back into star pose, stretch your arms long and tall. Open the arms out towards the side. Turn your left toes to face the front of the mat. Back foot pigeon toes. Hips shoot towards the back. Left hand reaches long, long, long over the left foot. Drop your left hand, come into Trikonasana Pose. Right arm reaches towards the sky, triangle pose. Gaze can be up towards the right hand if it works for you, or towards the floor, whatever works for you here. Just notice. Inhale here. Exhale, right hand wraps into the left hip crease. Drop the right shoulder back, open the chest, breathe into it with kindness. Exhale, let it go. Reach your right arm up towards the sky once again. Engage the right side body, rise upright. Bend the left knee, come into warrior two. Another strong pose, both arms stretch in either direction, gazes over the left middle finger. Inhale deeply, exhale, sink into your hips. Inhale once again. Exhale, release. Bring both arms up towards the sky. Turn your hips towards the front of the mat. Turn the back toes forward. Bend forward. Hands come to either side of the left foot. Hop the back foot forward, coming into pyramid pose. Notice the release in the back of the left thigh, left leg. Breathe into it. Exhale, release. Another inhale here. And exhale. One more breath. And exhale, let it go. Walk your hands towards the side of the mat. Turn your toes to face the side of the mat. Turn them to face the right. Right toe jet lines towards the right. Pick up the back foot. Create a little bit of a lane between your feet. Come into pyramid pose on this side. Notice the stretch in the back of the right leg. Gently breathe into it with kindness. And exhale. Balance takes flexibility too. So a little bit of stretching and opening and releasing. Breathe in. When you're very tense and tight, it's hard to balance. Let it go. One more inhale here. Slowly bring your arms up towards the sky. Hop the front foot forward. Back foot comes back. Open the arms into warrior two on this side. Bend your right knee. Gaze is over your right middle finger towards the back of the mat. Inhale, stretch your torso, spine long and tall. Exhale, sink into it a little bit more. Another inhale here. And an exhale, sink in. Straight the right knee, left hip shoots backward, right fingertips reach tall, tall, tall towards the side. Exhale, drop your right hand towards the right ankle, left fingers reach towards the sky, Trikonasana on this side. Inhale, look up towards your left hand if it works for your neck, and if not, do what works for you. Exhale, bring your left hand into the right hip crease. Roll the shoulder open if that feels good. Breathe into it. Another breath here. A heart that fills fully and diastole also helps you balance. Fully nourishing yourself. Exhale, let it go. Reach the left hand up towards the sky. Engage the left side body. Rise upright. Turn your toes out towards the side of the mat. Come back into a 5-point star. Bend your knees, sink into goddess pose, bend your elbows. Inhale. Exhale, sink your hips a little lower and enjoy. One breath here. You may notice your legs shaking. Elbows press back gently, open the chest. Exhale, release. Straighten your knees and your arms, come back to star pose. Heel toe your feet back to center. Bring your hands to center. Index fingers point towards the sky. Exhale, tip gently towards the right, crescent moon. Inhale. Exhale, tip a little farther, release. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, tip Towards the left this time, crescent moon in the opposite direction. Breathe gently and deeply. And exhale, release. One more breath. Exhale, let it go. Come back to center. Bring your arms out towards the side. Lower them down by your hips. Roll your shoulders once again with kindness. Back 3 times. And forward 3 times. Bathing everything in the tight area where we tend to hold a lot of tension. And take a moment here to pause and just notice how you feel. The Moon series also up-levels the parasympathetics. So notice if perhaps you just already feel a lot more calm and grounded. We're going to come into tree pose here. Take a moment to ground your feet. Lift up all 10 toes and lower them down gently. Right heel comes to the inner left calf. Bring your hands to heart center. Palms pressed together with intention. The thumbs press together. Thumbs press into the sternum. Pick up your right foot and gently place the sole of your foot on the calf, not over the knee. If you wish, you can take one hand and place the sole of the foot on the inner upper thigh. But at this time of night, perhaps a more gentle tree. Use your hands to help support you. And take a moment here and just reflect on the balance. Notice what works to help stabilize you. The little tiny movements in the toes, perhaps. The stability of the earth underneath. If it works for you, draw the right knee back gently. And focus on the sternum and the chest and the strength and stability there as a key piece of the balance. Notice your belly button and how it helps support this tree. If you wish, raise your branches up towards the night sky, towards the stars, and enjoy. Breathe in deeply, stretch your fingers tall, tall, tall towards the planets and the stars. Exhale, release, bring your hands back to heart center. Draw your knee towards the front and lower it down. Roll the ankle out on the left foot with kindness, shake things out. Releasing, noticing that as perhaps you got tired, the balance got trickier. So compassion that when we're tired, it's harder to balance. And perhaps softening into it is the answer. Little small adjustments and accepting what is. Lifting the toes of the right foot, all 5 of them, stretching them wide, lowering them down onto the earth. Connecting the sole of the right foot downward and the toes downward. Heel of the left foot comes to the inner right calf. Hands can be on your hips to start. Bring them, palms together, each finger pad together, thumbs connect, press the thumbs into the sternum, and pause. Tree pose on this side. Once again, reflect on the balance. Notice how the softening can often make the balance more easeful here. Breathe in and out. Another deep breath in and out. Reach your fingers towards the night sky if you wish, matching your actions on the other side. Draw your attention to your belly button here. And if you need to, find a spot on the floor in front of you that's not moving to help with the balance. And notice here what works. Little slight movements often help with balance. So when we clench and hold and fight, we tip. So notice little finger movements, little toe movements, little calf movements. What helps you balance? Bring your hands to heart center. Notice that it's not the fight or the struggle that helps you balance. It's the softening. Bring the left knee forward, lower it down, shake it all out with kindness. Roll one ankle and then the other, allowing things to just relax. We're going to do one more balance pose here, dancer pose. Ground that left foot into the earth, lift up all 5 toes, raise the right knee up to hip height, Run your right hand along the right thigh, over the front of the knee, down the shin. Grab the right ankle, draw it in towards your buttocks, and pause here. Take a moment to plan, set yourself up for success. Hips are even. Reorganize your toes on that left foot if need be. Draw your attention to your belly. Reach your left hand up towards the sky and pause here. Moment by moment, step by step, one step at a time. When we move fast, we end up off balance. Take an inhale. If you wish, tip forward into dancer pose or stay where you are. Noticing that sometimes doing less aids the balance. Notice what works for you. And again, what tiny little movements can make a difference. The relaxing in can make a difference. When you're ready, bring the left hand down. And if you tip, compassion, bring your right foot down, shake it out, roll it out. Noticing that when you get off balance, getting mad or being frustrated makes it worse. Lift up the toes on the right foot, lower them down. Draw your left knee up to hip height, bent at 90 degrees. Left hand runs along the front of the left thigh, over the knee, down the shin. Draw the ankle and the heel towards your buttock, and take a moment here to align your hips. Set yourself up for success. Notice the right foot, organize it. Inhale, right arm reaches towards the sky. You can pause here, stay here if you wish. Take an inhale into that heart space, fill up the heart fully. And on the exhale, if you wish, tip forward, tip the torso forward, reach your right hand forward, press your left foot into your hand. Coming into a full dancer pose, if that works for you, if it's fun. Choosing what works and noticing if you're off balance, stopping where you can maintain balance. Sometimes less is more. Tip back upright, reach your right arm towards the sky, even your hips out. Gently release the left foot, lower it down, lower the right hand down by your side, and just shake things out with kindness. Lift up all 10 toes, stretch them wide, 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 lower them down towards the earth. Rise up onto your tiptoes here. Bring your hands to heart center, palms come together. Thumbs once again press into the sternum. Balancing up on your tiptoes. Bend your knees slowly and slowly lower down inch by inch by inch by inch. Enjoying the wobbles, no judgment. Moving slowly with intention, accepting whatever works for you and as far as you can go or not. And pause a moment at the bottom to rest. To notice how far you came. And when you're ready, press your hands together for stability and slowly rise back up, still on your tiptoes. Inch by inch by inch by inch. All the way towards the sky. Pause at the top, high up on your tiptoes, strong and tall. Slowly lower your heels down, lower your hands down, and just shake everything out. We'll come to sit on the mat now. If you have a blanket and you have tight hamstrings, you can stick the blanket under your hips. That works for you. And take a moment to arrive here. Knees will be slightly bent, ankles slightly bent, toes in line with your knees. Make sure they're not sticking out to the sides. Notice those sit bones and connect downward into the earth. Grounding helps. Engage your belly. Inhale both arms up towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward gently, coming into an easy forward fold. And allowing your eyes to close here. Pausing and noticing how you feel. Lengthening the breath. Allowing things to already begin to slow down. Huge inhale and huge exhales. Another long, deep inhale. And a big exhale. Slowly walk your hands up your shins to your knees. Rise your torso upright. Notice how you feel. Stack the spine, pelvis is tilted forward. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart, come into seated butterfly. Once again, rock on those sit bones. Take an inhale, ground them into the earth, tilt your pelvis, stack your spine, crown of the head reaches towards the sky, knees gently press towards the earth. Notice how you feel here. Inhale into that spot behind the heart, filling it fully, and exhale, release. Close your eyes if you're comfortable in this spot, and draw your attention to your heart. In your mind's eye, pay attention to systole and diastole. We know that diastole is 2/3 of the cardiac cycle. That's the appropriate balance for the heart. 2/3 rest for optimum efficiency. So there is a balance between rest and movement and relaxation and stress that's optimal for you. What if you thought about balance in that way? What would be optimal for you? Take a deep inhale here into that pocket behind the heart. And an exhale, press those knees gently down, stretching the inner thighs, chest reaches forward. Eyes still closed if it works for you, or a light gaze. Release your hands from your ankles, stretch your legs wide, coming into a wide angle. Rock side to side on those sit bones, hinge at the hips, gently move forward, lean forward. Hands come in front of the V, about 12 inches in front of your groin. Pelvis tilted forward, spine straight and tall towards the sky. Walk your hands forward, a couple of handprints gently. Notice the release in the back of the legs. Perhaps stretch your toes wide and draw them together. Take a deep inhale. And an exhale, hands move forward, another handprint or two, a bit more release, and just pause to enjoy it. Letting the energy move and shift. With intention, perhaps letting go of the stressful energy and allowing things to soften and relax. Notice here, if you push too far, you can't relax and let things go. So walk the hands back if you need to. Learning to listen. Balance also requires listening to what works for us and what doesn't. And even here, as you're on the earth, you're balancing. You're using your core to hold you strong, using the back of the legs engaged and releasing all at the same time. Using the energy through the feet and the heels to hold you strong and steady. One more inhale here. And an exhale, release. Bring your hands to the outer edges of your thighs. Gently bring them forward to come together. Bang your knees, release everything. And turn, if you're not facing the front of your mat, turn to face the front of your mat. Raise your arms up to shoulder height and slowly roll back inch by inch. If you have a block, grab it, or you can use a bolster or a pillow for reclining bridge when we get there. So slowly lower inch by inch, unrolling your spine and allowing yourself to relax fully on the earth. Noticing how it feels for the earth to hold you here. Taking in a huge inhale. On the exhale, allow the toes to fall towards the outer edges of the mat, palms open towards the sky. If you feel comfortable, let your eyes close here once again. Taking a moment to notice how good it can feel. A chance to rest and restore and relax. Flip your palms over to face the earth. Bend your knees, walk those heels towards you. If you have a block or a bolster, grab it. Press into your feet, lift your hips up and slide the block under the sacrum, the triangular bone at the base of the spine. I like the block on the medium setting and allow the sacrum to relax onto the block. If you don't have a block and you have a bolster, I'll demonstrate both. And you slide the bolster right under the sacrum as well. You can also put a pillow there. And the intention here is to allow the hip flexors to release, to allow the sacrum to fully relax into whatever you have underneath you supporting you. You're not lifting those hips up towards the sky. You can even use a big hardback book under your sacrum if you don't have a block or a bolster or a pillow. If you use a blanket, you just won't be lifting up as high, but you still get the blood flow draining down in towards the heart and towards your head and the release in the hips. We're going to take a few minutes here, allowing yourself to sink in, allowing kindness, and noticing how it feels as you slow down. This act of slowing down necessary to balance the busy, to balance the thousands of competing priorities and demands that pop up during a busy day. Breathing in fully through the nose and exhale, release. We'll stay here for 5 more long, deep breaths. Intentional inhale through the nose. And exhale, release. Another long, deep inhale through the nose. And an exhale, release. 2 more breaths. Notice what's happening over time as things begin to shift. Your chest may feel different. Your hips may feel different. Your fingers may feel different. Take the time to notice. For those of you who are on a block or a bolster, we're going to do feet up in the air or legs at the wall if you don't have a block or a bolster or you prefer that position. So for those of you on the block or the bolster, bring one knee to 90 degrees, right foot up in the air. Bring the left foot to meet it, left knee, so both feet up in the air, resting fully on the sacrum. Extend your feet towards the sky, soles of the feet facing the ceiling, knees are straight. Adjust your shoulders if need be. If you're on the blocks, it's the same pose. It's sort of a gentle inversion. If you don't have any of those things, I recommend feet up the wall. And to do that, you will go over towards the wall, bring your left hip towards the wall, and slide around, bringing your feet up the wall, using the wall for support. And you can inch your hips away from the wall depending on how tight your hamstrings are. So the idea is that your feet are up in the air, legs are upright, blood flow draining down through the backs of the legs, towards the heart, towards the head. We'll take 5 breaths here in whatever position you are. If you don't have a wall or a block or a bolster, you can just have your feet up in the air, but with ease. Don't overthink it. Palms face downward, forearms on the earth. Notice how you feel. I like to wiggle my toes here. Notice what happens. You can point and flex them if you wish. Allow yourself to enjoy the stillness. Focus on the balance of the breath. 2 more breaths here, whatever spot you're in. And as we transition out, if you're on the block or the bolster, bend your knees, lower one foot towards the earth and the other foot towards the earth, and pause in the supported bridge. If your feet are up the wall, you'll slide your feet down one side, bend your knees, and pause in the fetal position. We'll meet back on the floor. So if you're up on your block or bolster, gently lift your hips up, slide the bolster or the block out from underneath you, and slowly lower your hips down inch by inch by inch, unrolling the vertebrae slowly and gently till you arrive on the floor. And pause and notice how you feel here. Draw your knees into your chest and pause here. Notice how the back releases, rock side to side on your sacrum. Enjoy it. Come into a happy baby if you wish. Bring your hands to the outer edges of your feet. Bring the feet apart. Soles of the feet reach towards the sky. Knees press towards the earth and gently rock. And enjoy that for a moment. Releasing the lower back. Enjoying the massage. Bring yourself a treat. Huge inhale here. And an exhale. Bring the soles of your feet together. Slowly lower them towards the floor, knees come together. Bring your hands back by your sides. Press your hands into the earth. Pick your hips up an inch or two. Bring them an inch or two towards the left. Draw your knees into your chest and allow your knees to fall towards the right, coming into a twist. Bring the right hand out to a T. Left hand can be cactus shape or also a T. Notice what works for your shoulders and your space. And pause here in this gentle twist. Take an inhale, long, deep, and nourishing. And exhale, gaze towards the left if that works for your neck. You'll notice it intensifies the twist. You want to be in a position that's twisting and noticeable, but not too much. So if you need to back out, you can twist less. You could straight the top leg if that feels good to you, or keep it bent. Notice what feels good. If the twist is too much, you can take a block between your knees or the bolster between your knees. Find a spot where you can really, truly relax and sink in. Notice the left shoulder. If it's uncomfortable, leave it down by your hips, just straight down. 5 long, deep, nourishing breaths here as you slow down. You'll notice your heartbeat begin to slow. Matching the inhale and the exhale, balancing the breath. Allowing your body to rest in balance with all the movement and all the stress and all the activity. Purposeful rest. One more long, deep, nourishing breath here. Bring your gaze back to center. If you have a block or bolster between your knees, you'll take that out. Gently draw your knees back to center. Soles of the feet on the earth. Pick your hips up. Shift them about 4 inches to the right this time. Draw your knees into your chest. And allow the knees to fall towards the left, coming into a twist. You need to stack your hips here, restack them. And stretch your arms out to a T if that works for you, or cactus shape if that works for you, or by your side if your shoulders don't like the stretch. Notice what works for you and do that. Overstretching works for no one. Take an inhale. And an exhale, gaze towards the right if that feels good for your neck. 5 long, deep, nourishing breaths here. Eyes can be closed if that's comfortable for you. Gently bring your gaze back to center. And bring your knees back to center. Soles of the feet on the earth. Pick up your hips and bring the hips back to center. Untuck your shoulders if they're wonky. And notice the sacrum against the floor. Knees are bent, soles of the feet on the earth. Bring your right ankle above the left knee. Press the right knee towards the earth. This may be enough of a stretch for the right outer hip. If you wish, thread your hands around the back of the left thigh and bring it towards you. Left foot raises towards the air. Both ankles are flexed to protect the knees, coming into a figure 4. Notice the hip stretch intensifying, and just send the breath to it gently. And stay wherever feels good to you. Gentle, easeful stretching and relaxing. Breathe into that outer right hip, wherever you are. More is not better here. Often when we relax in, we get the best results. Breathe into it with softness and kindness. If your left foot is on the earth, gently place the right hand on the right thigh above the knee and just gently press it towards the earth and just notice how that feels. If it hurts your knee, don't press. Just pause here and relax, breathing into the heart space. And letting it go. Release your hands from behind the thigh if they are there. Lower the left foot towards the earth. Uncross the right leg, both feet on the earth. Even things out for a moment. Pause to get organized. Raise the left ankle, place it over the right knee. You can stop here. Gently press on the left thigh if that works for you. Or if you wish, thread your hands around the right thigh, draw it in towards you, raise the right foot up in the air, come into figure 4 on this side. Make sure the ankles are flexed to protect the knees. Pause here. Gentle stretch in the outer hip, releasing the tension. The tension gets in the way of the steadiness and the stability and the standing up tall with grace. Breathe into it, nudge it loose. Once again, inhale. And exhale, let things go. One more breath. release. Let go of the thigh if you have it. Lower the right foot towards the earth. Uncross the left foot. Bring the foot alongside the right. Gently bring the soles of the feet together, knees apart. And take a moment here to get comfortable. If you have blocks, tuck one under each knee. If you don't have blocks, you can put a pillow or a hardback book under each knee, or if your inner thighs are super flexing, maybe you don't need it. But I actually recommend something holding up each knee as you relax and soften into Supta Baddha Konasana or reclining butterfly. It's a restorative pose. And with the support of the books, blocks, bolsters, whatever you've got, you'll notice a gentle release and a grounding and a strength building. Left hand atop the heart, right hand over the belly button. Make sure that the thigh stretch is not too much. Use the support of something to carry the weight of the knees. Noticing that the blocks help. Letting help helps. Notice, if you can, your heartbeat under the left hand. Notice your belly rise and fall with each breath. Deep inhale. And a huge exhale. Take 5 long, deep, nourishing breaths here. Draw your attention to the heart space under the left hand. Gently press the heel of that left hand into the heart space with intention. Notice how it feels. Notice your heart filling, and perhaps filling more fully than when we began. Final long, deep, smooth inhale here. And a huge exhale, letting things go. Gently bring your hands to the outer edges of your thighs. Draw your knees together. Extend your legs long. If you need to, you can move the blocks, books, bolster out of the way. We're going to come into Shavasana here. A little bit longer Shavasana than usual. So notice if you get fidgety, and just remind yourself that you need as much rest as the work that you do. We very rarely spend time relaxing and letting go completely. So stretch your legs long, toes flock towards the outer edge of the mat. Heels are about 6 inches apart. Hands 6 inches away from your waist, palms open towards the sky. Untuck your shoulders. Notice what's connected to the floor. Heels, calves, sacrum, perhaps the backs of the hands, backs of the forearms, shoulders, the occiput. Lots supporting you and holding you to allow for full rest and relaxation. Taking a huge deep inhale and a huge releasing exhale. And allow yourself to fully let go here. A few moments of full rest. You may notice that you feel like you're lifting up off the earth.
Or you may notice that you're just sinking in for a long rest. Whatever your body feels is exactly right. Just accept it, allow it, enjoy it.
Gently begin to deepen your breath. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Just notice how you feel. Ever so slowly draw your knees into your chest and roll over to one side. Pause here in a fetal position. Use an arm as a pillow. And take a few breaths here to notice how full rest feels. And for those of you on the East Coast who are perhaps ready for bed, allow the full rest to continue, rolling directly into bed. Press into your hands gently and slowly come up to a comfortable seat. You can just sit however you arrive. Hands rest comfortably on your thighs. Gently tilt your pelvis forward and stack your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, with kindness, all the way reaching towards the sky. Take a deep inhale in through your nose. And a long, smooth exhale. Pause here to notice how you feel. Perhaps a balance to the stress of your days. Likely slower, more spacious, more easeful, perhaps more grounded and connected. Bring a hand to heart and another hand to top, sending yourself kindness, good wishes, maybe a little bit of celebration or pride for all that you do, all that you have done to be here. And a recognition of all the tools that you have to help you balance all these things. Remembering that relaxing in small, tiny tweaks and the breath can help you. Take another long, deep, smooth inhale through your nose. And an even, lovely exhale, releasing, letting go. Bring your hands to heart center. May you all be well. May you all be safe. May you all find easeful balance. Have a beautiful week ahead. Namaste.